Yes, well, Sammy, we can't just blame it on that internet connection. Also, we're not seeing that many protests anymore in the streets of Tehran and around the country. So we are getting fewer material in from our contributors, but we're still getting some stuff in, emails and photos. Let's just take a look at this that was sent in from one of our viewers. The contributor took these photos on Thursday from the Behesht Zara public cemetery. This is, of course, where Neda Agha Sultan is buried. These are actually the pictures of her grave. Neda was shot dead. Her dying moments captured on video went across the world. She's now become the icon of the protest movement in Iran and around the world. And we also had various pictures in about women. All throughout the week, women protesting out on the streets of Iran. They've been very visible in the recent events, and we have also had other witness statements who say that women who have been at the front line of protesters, not afraid to stand steady in the face of riot police. This is nothing new, of course, in Iran. It's women who also at the front line of protests to overthrow the Shah back in 1979. Well, let's just look at a few statistics here. There's a marked difference in literacy rates between men and women in Iran. Only 77% of women over the age of 24 can read and write, compared to 87% of men. But 65% of all Iranian college students are women. That's a huge amount. That's double what it was in 1983. So there has been a lot of progress under the Islamic Republic, when only 32% of students were women back in 1983, yet they don't have the same rights, of course, as men in some cases of divorce, child custody and in terms of inheritance. Well, earlier I spoke to Hasiba Haj Saharoui. She's a Deputy Director of Middle East and North African Programme with Amnesty International. I asked her why women have been so visible in these protests.
Well, women have been active before the elections, for sure. And women have been demanding their rights in Iran. They've been very organized in when doing so. And you might have heard about the Campaign for Equality, and this initiative of women to collect 1 million signatures of Iranians to demand equality of rights between men and women. So, and they've been so active that they forced the debate on during the presidential election, or in the lead up to the presidential election. They forced candidates to take a position of this. Women were very visible before the elections, and but what we see now is also women in the streets demanding their rights. Women and men, students, a lot, many of them. We've seen all sectors of the Iranian population being in the street peacefully protesting. And women have been, like any Iranian, exposed to repression, have been exposed to arbitrary arrest, and are likely to be unfairly tried for those who have been detained.
So a lot of women protesting, as you say, but of course being women, they are quite vulnerable, aren't they, to attacks and also repression?
Well, women have been vulnerable to this kind of attacks before the elections again, and some of them are in prison serving harsh sentences simply for demanding equality between men and women. Currently, I think any protester, any peaceful protester, is exposed to all sorts of repression, is exposed to excessive use of force by the security forces, is exposed to the Basij, is the militias, is exposed to the Revolutionary Guard. Anyone being in the streets in Iran for the moment is being exposed.
Well, that's a view from Amnesty International. I've been checking out some of the blogs from women in Iran. I'm trying to find what they're speaking about, and just take a look at one of them. This is from Zara Asfahani. She is basically saying that it's our historical duty to remain in the streets, but her blog really talks about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and democracy, not just in Iran, but around the world as well. Now, interesting from Camilla Entehobevard, quite a long name there. She is worried about news from Iran, and she says it's difficult. She's actually a journalist abroad. She says it's difficult just sitting here outside the borders and monitoring what is going on back home. And finally, Famek, she basically talks about equality beginning from the street. She's a real feminist. And she's saying that even though Iranian women took part in the revolution, she doesn't feel that that feminism is being recognised currently under the Islamic Republic. Well, we've also been hearing from you here at Al Jazeera. Let's just take a look at a few of your views that you've been sending in to us. Someone calling herself a woman in Iran writes, we've heard from her before. I'm aware of the problems we have right now in our society. Someone wrote, the only reason they're out to protest is they want to wear miniskirts and drink alcohol. Each society has its own problems and disorders. I think Western countries, especially the US, the UK, France and Germany, should stop interfering in other countries' internal affairs as they don't have any credibility. As an Iranian person living in Iran, I prefer the second-term presidency of Mr. Ahmadinejad because he has a lot of support among the people in Iran. And just before we go, we'd like to show you this. It was sent to us by one of our viewers. As you can see, it's a poster with a question, where is my vote? This question has, of course, become a slogan of the protest movement. The viewer wrote to us. OK, well, let's just take a quick look at how you can get in touch with us. We want to hear from people who are obviously supporters of Musavi. We also want to hear from people who support Ahmadinejad as well. So if you want to contribute to our website, it's pretty easy. Just go to Al Jazeera and you can go into the Your Views section pretty simply there and just give us your views. And if you've got any video, and we know it's pretty difficult to get video out of Iran, we know internet connection is slow, any video at all, whether you're pro-Ahmadinejad or pro-Musavi, you can just email us here at yourmedia@aljazeera.net.